I'm here with Scott Tess with Fair Trade for a Greater Orlando Coalition. Scott, what can you tell me about your organization?
Fair Trade for a Greater Orlando Coalition has two main goals. The first is to promote fair trade as a consumer option. The second is to establish fair trade purchasing policies for the cities and campuses in the area. So essentially, what we want is for when the city of Orlando buys, say, coffee, we want them to choose fair trade certified coffee, and we want that to be an ongoing policy, written down. Every department does it, and we've expanded that not just from coffee and tea for the city of Orlando, but our proposed ordinance includes a broad preference for fair trade certified products under some reasonable circumstances. If they're 100 times more expensive, we don't expect the city to buy fair trade certified. But anything that's comparably priced, we want to go with the fair trade certified product to get those values of fair labor standards and environmental sustainability built into our consumer choices.
That's excellent. So when you get the municipalities involved in large government, you can really make a big difference very quickly.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's really great that we're all out here today buying fair trade and supporting local as well, which is important. But our individual consumer actions can only go so far. It really has a multiplier effect when we take our collective institutions, our big institutions, be they large corporations or our governments, and we get them to move their purchasing towards fair trade certified products. It really has a big multiplier effect. And why not? They're using our tax dollars for this, right? They should be acting in accordance to our values. So it's really up to us and Fair Trade for a Greater Orlando Coalition, FTGOC, to demonstrate that fair trade is a broadly held value in the city of Orlando, and that the city needs to adjust their policies in accordance with that value.
Now, fair trade, just for our viewers, some might not understand exactly what fair trade means. Can you give us a definition?
Sure. It's a certification that allows consumers to choose products that are made under conditions of fair labor standards and environmental sustainability. So it's kind of the antidote to sweatshop labor. There's a couple other things built into the fair trade certification. The production points have to be democratically organized, which means either a labor union or a co-op or a worker-owned facility. They also have to have built into the fair trade price that the consumer pays a social development premium. Now, this is a small add-on to the price, which doesn't go to the producer individually, so it doesn't go to the co-op or the factory, whatever it may be. It goes to the factory in sort of trust formation, and they use that for community development. So whatever they need, whatever they may be interested in. A lot of fair trade co-ops use the social development premium to create scholarships for their kids to go to school. A lot of them, are going to dig wells, build modern irrigation, build a school, anything that's going to help develop their community. So fair trade, it's not just, what's a fair deal between, consumers in the more wealthy countries and producers in the more poor countries. It's also a development program to, for the community-wide, for where these producers are.
So it's a way for someone to make an investment that's ethical in whatever product they purchase, but also to try to use their dollars to bridge the gap between us and developing countries?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a really great way to get involved and build solidarity with people in other countries. That's not just charity. And sometimes it's great to give to charity, especially in dire circumstances, disasters. It's great. But a lot of that is going to be Band-Aids. This is not a Band-Aid. This is an alternative to free trade standards and free trade agreements that governments are often negotiating, which really tend to be based on power relations, who has power and who doesn't. The wealthy country oftentimes can negotiate what in many people's eyes would be an unfair trade agreement with a less powerful country. A fair trade is different in that it has different values. It values mutual aid, solidarity, workers' rights, freedom of association, environmental sustainability, where free trade tends to exploit less powerful, less informed producers. Producers have less access to market analysis and market research. Fair trade empowers them and delivers those information and services to the producers, so that that power differential is bridged, as you said, and we get a much more development type dynamic in our trade relationships.
If someone's interested in learning more about fair trade for a Greater Orlando Coalition, where should they go?
They can go to our website at www.ftgoc.org. If you want to learn more about fair trade certification in the United States, transfairusa.org is the place to go. They're the main certifying body for products coming into the U.S.
Well, thank you so much, Scott. Thanks for taking the time with us, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you.